phone, I can, what was it that I said? That I can crush Nancy
You do all
Oliver?
this shit about Nancy Oliver, and you can make sure she doesn't work again. Is that a lie?
Did I say that? And it's
Well,
last
let's back
executive
off.
session.
I got lost halfway through this.
Be truthful.
No, I just back up, because,
That's exactly what I'm getting, and I'm like,
okay, what happened to raise phones? Let's back up, start over, so I
Okay,
got
as
the whole.
executive session, I don't know if it was the last one or the one before. I don't know that. But he raised his phone and he said, with this, I can make one phone call and basically torpedo a lot of people's lives. I know a lot of shit about Nancy Oliver. I can make sure she never works again. To that effect. I don't know the exact words, but to that effect. He's saying he did not say it. So either other people are liars or he's a liar.
there's 4 of us here, so I'll meet you
Okay.
first. Did I say that?
I don't remember.
What
But if it's an executive session.
what I saw was,
That's
what I
what I
saw,
like to know. So who's your source?
Yeah, who-
Bob?
Well, I'll tell you right now, I was the source, and first of all, executive session is specifically to be for foreclosures. It is supposed to be for discussing past due assessments. It is supposed to be for things only like that. That was said right before we left, and that is not board business.
And that was a threat.
That was a threat.
Did you or
And
did
that-
you not say that?
You did
I said
lift
it.
up, you
I
did
said it.
hold up your phone, and you did say that.
So you're a liar.
Seriously? Have some honesty and integrity
Honestly,
amongst yourself.
Exactly.
How do you not remember something?
no, honestly, I'm on my kids,
Don't you say that?
I don't remember that. I just remember your email that I saw come forward. I honestly, on my kids, I don't remember. I don't know, I honestly don't remember.
But either way, in executive session, you shouldn't be talking about other people
Susan?
like that.
did you say
And
something like that?
executive session is for foreclosures, short sales, and arrears. It's business, and it's not, shouldn't be discussed about what you can do to somebody's life.
Well, first of all, you know what, there should not be anything discussed about, at any time, about anybody destroying anybody else's life, harming any person, threatening any person, harassing any person. Period, that's the last thing I'm gonna say about it,
I thought Les
because
was
there's been
gonna
enough
be
said
here
about me.
No, you
Let's see.
can't come.
He's sick, yeah.
We can move on. I just wanted to have that out with Frank and
All right, moving on. 7:15, open board,
Oh, am I taking minutes?
please. We've got February 6th meeting, and we've got all the minute meetings that oh no, I'm sorry. And I've got January 8th. We need to motion to approve both of them.
Okay.
Did any of y'all get a chance to look at the landscape contract out for today, this afternoon?
I did.
That one, because I didn't get to see the changes to this one.
That was on a 2-year contract.
But we can cancel a,
Yeah, it's labeled.
30-day, whatever.
30-day notice,
30
and
days.
then 7, they can cancel after 7 days. I believe. I've got it right here.
This is dated January.
They had a proposal, but it was too large to email. He's gonna try to get it to me the next few days as far as,
no, I didn't see, did that include the plowing or no?
no,
That's just the landscape.
that's
huh?
just the landscape.
Did you see the minutes, Mark?
Did you get them to knock down the price at all? Did you negotiate the price down?
It is tallied for 2 years, and then on the 3rd year, there's a 3% raise, and that's pretty much cost of living raise.
But what is the cost per year for this year, for landscaping?
31,776.
And that includes the soil samples and everything?
That's everything. That's
No.
everything. That's everything in their package, other than the excess stuff.
So they're gonna charge us that next year also?
What do you mean?
The
That's on an
31,000.
8-month service.
Right, but that's extremely high because we were paying 42,000 or something for landscape and snow plowing before. So that's
I don't know.
real high for the second year. I would say maybe put 1 year just so that we can get soil samples and get all the work done that we need to, but
Well, the reason why we did 2 years was because it was a lower fee than 1 year. That's what we agreed upon the last meeting. supposed to do a 2-year contract,
Right, but to negotiate them down, yeah.
How many bids did y'all get?
3.
Right.
Does that include replacing all the grub infested areas that have been destroyed,
It's not necessarily replacement, but they will be treated.
treated and the grass replaced? Like the dirt removed and the grass removed?
I've
That's-
budgeted
That's
out.
a totally different project.
Yeah.
Was there something going to be done about that?
We are,
Not at the moment, no.
we are addressing that.
So the mud pile in front of my unit, I just need to do on my own?
Was your unit treated by Dreams Granted?
You
I
didn't do
don't
it
know, was
between,
it?
Huh?
I don't know, was it?
you only did it between buildings.
No, it wasn't. I alerted
Well,
everyone.
how did it become a mud pile then?
Because
Took it
the
up.
grubs ate all the grass, and when you touch the grass, it flaked off. So now it's just dirt. Now it's mud.
Did they put that seed down with that mesh over
No,
it?
because they only
Contract
did
was
that
only in
between the
between
buildings.
Yeah, they did.
And I had told everyone on the board
You know
about
what?
the condition of the grass in front of my unit. And first of all, it was ignored.
Could it be that they didn't replace that grass because they had to treat that soil for the grubs and then it would be replaced in the spring?
We should know.
I can't even, I don't even know where you live, so.
Remington?
What's the
No, because our
address?
contract, what we had done was that we had done in between all the buildings.
Well,
We
right,
didn't
but-
do it in the front of the yards.
Okay, well, regardless if the grubs were eating the root of the grass, it's not just, it's gonna flake up, yes, but it's not gonna become a mud pile.
Her grass is gone.
I'm
Here.
telling you, the grass.
She's got a little, it's not a huge patch.
Yeah, it's small. The grubs
But there's
ate
no grass.
all the roots. So that when you touched it, it was dead. I mean, it was gone. You lifted up the grass and it was full of white grubs.
And there are multiple units like that.
Well, there was
If the grubs
nothing
were
there.
still in the soil, you putting fresh
You need
sod down.
that down,
would
you
help.
guys honestly walk around our neighborhood.
They already had it. They
Well,
already,
that's
and they,
My problem was identified last fall. And I was told that something would be done about it in the spring.
Okay, well, that's why we have to get the new landscaper in to do a walkthrough and assess everything, and that's why they're gonna do soil samples to know what's in that dirt, how to treat it for insects, grubs, you know, try to rectify the clay problem. There's really not much they can do now with the snow.
I know there's something that can be done now. I'm just saying, is part of the landscaping, is that going to address the areas that were destroyed by the grubs last year, that since it wasn't between a building, for whatever reason that distinction was made,
Just to
was
let-
not replaced last fall?
Just to let you know, I put in an additional $9,000 into landscaping over and above the cost for the landscapers for this summer to do soil samples and everything else. And the reason being is that we can address things like that. There were still some areas that needed to be dethatched and replanted that they hadn't gotten to last year. And also for the trees and bushes that were not planted properly, to replant those with topsoil and do some mulching on those areas that need it.
Okay, I would just really like it if it wasn't done in the summer, if it was done in the spring.
We'll address, we want to address it this
I'll give you the
summer.
synopsis real quick for what our contracts are.
Sure.
Maintenance services, spring cleanup. Spring cleanup will begin as early as weather permits. Spring cleanup will include but not limited to removal of winter accumulated debris, leaves, garbage from all landscaping areas. Planting beds, tree rings, and turf areas. Cutbacks all perennials and ornamental grasses that were left for winter interest. Fall cleanup. Timing of fall cleanup will dictate by weather trends. Leaves will be managed, and what they'll do. Cleanup will include a final mowing of all turf areas. Perennial plants will be cut back. Additional cleanup after contract end date can be performed. Mowing and trimming. All contractually accessible area turf will be mowed to a height of 3 to 4 inches. Mowing equipment will be kept in good condition and blades sharpened. Turf care services. First application, early spring, apply in a single application of broadleaf weed control, pre-emergent crabgrass control, and fertilizer. Second act, apply in a single application of broadleaf weed control and fertilizer again. Third act in fall, apply another one.
Is mulching gonna be separate? Because that was pretty expensive.
Yeah,
It's like
it will
$25,000.
be,
But we're not doing all of it.
Um,
Certain areas.
Additional turf applications are needed for extremely hard to control weeds. Provides control for these weeds as a curative program at an additional cost as needed basis. It basically, the contract that we're given is our standard mow and go, maintenance, fertilizer, weed spray. There's not a contract to repair any areas that are not up to par.
But what are you going to do about it?
I mean,
Because I was told last fall that it would be handled in the spring, and apparently it's fallen off the agenda. I can't, if I have something.
no, it's not
come
falling
out-
off, it's not falling off the
But you're
agenda.
not doing anything about it. If I
What's-
pay
I
for
mean,
somebody
there's
to
10 inches
come
of
out
snow
and,
outside right now, I can't, huh?
I understand there's snow on the ground, but if you haven't budgeted
On
for
what
it and
street?
you haven't even.
No, we
considered
had
it,
budgeted
there's
for,
extra
no, we had
money.
budgeted excess this year for landscaping. Repair.
Okay,
I mean, you're not the only home that
I
just,
know, it's disgusting.
Yeah, I know.
and it's, that was just,
And you only
the
have
shot,
nine-
that was the shoddy contract work that we had done last year.
No, it was, I called and I said, I have grubs. First of all, I wasn't believed until I brought somebody over and pulled the grass back. And
When myself, Harold, and Penny walked around with LCM, it was denied, denied, denied. Well, we treated for this. Oh, but you didn't tell us. She's not an expert, I'm not an expert, Harold's not an expert. It was a matter of debate. Okay. We had terrible service. We can only go with what we see at face value when it comes to these companies.
Okay. Please just tell me that you're going to take care of it.
I will
In the
personally,
Dream-
address- I
dream-
will personally
dreams
address
granted.
your yard for you. okay? I
Dreams
will
granted
personally
made an attempted
address it,
effort,
Okay?
and that was only just a partial phase.
I know. I don't understand the distinction between buildings and not everywhere, but that's in the past.
We did the
I know.
thoroughfares, we did the thoroughfares because they were larger areas. They were harder hit. The smaller areas that are in between a DeSoto model and a, what's the small one you got? Hudson. The strips of grass that are there,
That's what I have.
okay. Then nothing grows in them because 4 inches down, it's nothing but limestone rock.
I know.
So that's not even, putting grass there isn't even really an option for what our follow-on plans are for the front of these homes. Currently, Valley Crest is already, and that's what they attempted to send me in an email. They have already given us a proposal as far as redoing the curb appeal of the front of the homes. As far as the rear of the homes, that's a totally different animal anymore. I believe all of us want more of curb appeal than we do the backs. Other than the ones that, the backs of their homes are on Malador, obviously, we would like to get them more and more privacy. But, and that's another thing that we have addressed and we're working towards. So that little 2-foot strip there, that is being looked at, that is being addressed. We've talked seeding, we've talked bushes, we've talked just filling it in completely with asphalt. Well, I don't want to do that, but
No.
that's just avenues to look at.
Okay,
I know what you're talking about now. I thought you were talking like if you were the larger unit in your whole, no, my little strip is the same way. So I do know what you're understanding.
Mine was like that too.
Yeah,
Grubs
it's-
got in there and took it all out.
When it's 100 degrees outside and you've got black asphalt all around it, it's not gonna do nothing.
well, it didn't help that grubs destroyed it all that was there. I mean,
I
it had been there
understand.
for a long time,
Yeah.
you know, 5 years since we moved in.
Well, I don't think our community has been fertilized once since the development of it, has it? I
No,
mean,
it hasn't.
Use that pan mesh crap that doesn't
Multiple
work.
times.
Yeah, it's been fertile.
well, the seed that we had done, that, I mean, in July, if I'm not mistaken, from all the dog dude, that was the first initial, wasn't it?
That's seeding, we're talking about fertilization. Fertilization's been done twice a year, I think, since we've been
Aeration
here.
hasn't been done consistently.
Well, they had they had the coring done on it.
Hmm?
I know the coring's been done on it, correct? It's been done once already. Aeration.
Yeah.
I think it's been done once since 4 years I've lived here,
Once
so.
that I'm aware of.
Yeah, I think it's 4 years.
Okay, I just
Is
wanted to
anything
like-
wrong?
I agree, I'm asking.
It's been No, I mean,
You're,
they're being
that
investigated.
little area is terrible. You know, and when Harold dug his out completely, it was less than 3 inches. And it was all
I know,
limestone.
and I can't, I don't want to pay, and I don't feel like I should have to.
I think what
pay
needs to
that person
happen
Come out and dig it up myself.
is what we were doing in the first place.
It's regardless, you're talking an area that's never going to have an established aeration.
True.
It's gonna take.
That's not true. If it's all dug up and you put fresh soil down for like a good amount from what was there. And dig up like what we did, like Susan, like what we did at Harold's and what we did at mine, and what we
Right,
did.
well, this is what, we're gonna address this with Valley Crest, they're gonna come.
And I think if we do that, I think that's only fair to do that to
Make
other
some
people's
suggestions.
units. And at least an attempt
Mhm.
to rectify that, because like you said, you could throw seed down, you could throw sod down as it is right now. But no, that's not gonna take.
No,
That won't take,
I agree.
because there's no soil there.
Right.
It needs to be dug up.
That's what I'm
Exactly.
saying, that's what I'm saying, like what was the time?
I would
What-
be satisfied when it's done.
That's right, and that's what she's looking for, is she
It's gonna-
wants
it's-
nice.
I mean, I know that you were not board members back when we moved in, but we were complaining immediately because we knew that 2 inches down was rock and that nothing was going to grow there.
Mhm.
And it's
Well,
just
this
that
this
we're-
contract will take,
Our grass was green. Now we have mud because the grubs
Because the
destroyed
girls
it.
took it out, yeah.
And it was ugly before and now it's just embarrassing.
We'll address,
I mean,
we'll definitely.
It's like, we heard a funny story about, or not, you know, it's supposed to be funny, whatever, on Halloween, you know, you avoid a person's house with the mud in front, well, that was us. You know, it's like, you know, it's like,
all right,
I haven't heard that.
you know, it's just.
next.
If you guys are gonna do some kind of a newsletter, maybe you could address this to all homeowners so that they know that you are going to address these issues.
Yeah,
A newsletter should be out of
Yeah, I
it. You
think
need to
it's
let
working.
homeowners know who your
Working.
board members are.
It's working. So you're fine with these?
Yeah, no, the minutes, yeah.
Yeah,
They're all good?
they're all good, yeah.
All right, motion to approve February 6th and January 8th.
Second it?
Third, fourth.
You can, after, well,
So I can put them on the site.
yeah, no, you can, well, yeah, I'll get them emailed to you. You need to sign one, and then the ones that you get.
Yes.
Real quick, can we address something on the newsletter? Can we add a couple things on it, just real quick?
We're not talking.
Wait, I don't even have a draft of the newsletter to
No, I know,
even
but-
discuss
Okay.
what's on there right now.
No, I was just gonna ask, can we add something about the dog waste, and then also
That's,
something
that is
about?
being, that's, yeah.
Okay, and then also something about the garbage cans, because there's a lot of garbage cans people are leaving out. And that, I mean, they're all over the place now, in back to buildings and on the side of buildings.
All right.
If we can address that in the newsletter, that'd be great.
All right, the board, no, well, Scott's supposed to do the ones that he did, so.
Oh, okay.
The budget, the proposed budget, 4 pages, the details page, did you get a chance?
Yeah, I read it.
I read it.
Do you have a
Or
problem
the
with this being sent out to the homeowner?
Looks good to me.
No, no,
Yep. And
it needs to
actually,
be sent out like immediately to the homeowners.
Looking
Well-
at for assessments with that.
Assessments are gonna stay the same.
Oh, no, after all of that, okay.
well, we don't have a choice, because unfortunately, we do not have, our legal fees are gonna end up having to go up because we do not have a monthly retainer.
And let me explain the legal fees to you. Legal fees, they're not going up. They're basically almost near or very similar to what KSN's legal fees were.
We can hope they stay there, though.
The thing with legal fees is any charges that we incur during the time of legal action,
Uh-huh.
it's reciprocated back to us.
But
The
it's
initial
only
cost.
it's only ordered to be reciprocated back to us, but we don't always recoup those
That
costs.
is very true.
Okay,
So, but in the midst of the $45,000 that we're missing out of that, it's only a percentage that we're going to return. So it's not,
Oh,
that's
of
not
course.
something that we have to be concerned about as far as making, and for lack of better terms, an excuse for the reason why they're gonna stay the same.
Wait, hold the phone, what do you mean 45,000? Are they like you're like.
We've got a lot,
Bad,
so,
bad
yeah,
mortgage, yeah.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying, that 45,000 is for debt.
Bad debt, okay. But the legal fees are addressing the bad debt.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that for the $250 an hour that we're being charged, a percentage of that will be recouped. So we give up, we budgeted, no, we hope, but we budgeted for a highball amount. And in that budget for a highball amount, it was keeping everything as is.
So you
But isn't-
new attorney?
Yes,
But isn't it true that if Scott were no longer on the board, KSN would take us back?
KSM has not put that in writing.
Okay.
Is Scott still on the board? He's not here.
He's not here now.
Does that mean he's off the board? Is he not attending anymore? Nobody
Not
seems to know where he's at.
I don't know where he's at.
KSN had a retainer for us for $500 a month, and that was everything, every letter, every phone call, every email, everything.
The reason why we have the retainer that we currently have is because it is a short notice retainer, and it is only for a limited amount of time.
Okay, Susan, you were researching, were you finding anything different? Was anybody else offering a retainer, or was it all
No.
pretty much
They
$250
were
an hour?
all pretty
It was
much
all hourly.
hourly.
What
Yeah.
they-
Exactly.
Why is that?
So
And
that's
they
why
were all
KSN
same.
was unique in offering us a retainer for $500.
This
Really
association would save a lot of money if he would step down because KSN will come back on. And then you'd get your $500 a month retainer to go after these foreclosures where we're losing money on top of that.
That's great in theory, but I don't have the power, neither do you, to get rid of it.
Somebody ought to tell the homeowners that we're paying $250 an hour now for attorneys versus $500 a month.
If you can get it in writing that KSN,
You should be able to get it in writing. You are the board.
it's unethical for somebody
They
to
won't put
say.
that. KSN won't.
You can't do it.
put
Exactly. So for somebody to even make that statement,
Why don't you put a working, cohesive board without stating any names?
I wish I could. Believe me, I wish I could. I mean, I work 40+ hours a week, and this is a second full-time job for me.
We know that.
I know you do, so you should be even as
It should be so
understanding.
much easier now because he got his way and you have a different board.
So here's another question for you. At the last board meeting, before it started, the three of you were here, and I asked you about this legal document that Scott wrote up, and you all were gonna have attorneys look at.
And
you told me,
And I have the contract in my hand that has to be signed for the attorney. I told you,
You've been looking at that for 2 months. You should be able to determine.
you know, it took us a month to get an attorney. I'm sorry, Nancy, but some people don't revolve around Remington Point Homeowners
You're the
Association.
president.
You're absolutely right, I am the
And
president, and
there
therefore
should
this
be
meeting is
legal
moving on.
representation in place before a month goes by. It's
Okay.
ridiculous.
So,
you told me that nothing was gonna come of it. As
It-
soon as I got home, I sent you an email, and I was trying to be respectful in that email. I copied everybody that was noted in that document, and asked you to please just put something in writing, a simple email, a letter.
I cannot tell you what Scott Heyer and Rosa Zarecki are going to do.
You
I can tell
said
you
as a
that.
board that you weren't gonna look at that document or talk about it anymore, did you not?
You're
And
absolutely right,
you can't put
because
something
it's
in writing
not,
as the president stating that?
it's not an official document. It's no different.
I don't
than-
care if it's official, I want a freaking letter from the board
What-
saying that,
what is-
based on what we know, based on what we've heard from attorneys,
All right.
that we are not moving forward with this document, that's what I'm asking
Ms.
for.
Zona,
Okay.
at
Mark, are
right
you moving
now.
forward? I like to pull
Oh,
this
yeah,
to the board.
stop. This is our board meeting. We will move forward and I will explain.
Okay.
Until there is a case number, it is nothing but a piece of paper, and that is what I
I know
explained to
that.
you. Okay? If I put something in writing that says that we will not entertain it, then if it becomes an actual case, we don't entertain it at that point. So it does no justice to you if I say that I'm not going to entertain it. She's
It's
not.
peace of mind.
What is,
It's my-
exactly, as a
No, and I understand that.
from the homeowner's point of view, to the board of directors, we're asking for that, why can't you do that?
I am not above any law.
You
As
didn't,
for-
you couldn't even answer the email, for God's sakes. How many emails did you get from us? 3 different, 4 different, 5 different over the course of 3 weeks. Where's your professionalism in at least responding to an email?
And I was advised not to give you a response because I can't legally tell you
Who's
that
advising
anything is
you?
going to.
Then why couldn't you say,
Who's
I've
advising
been
you?
advised by whomever that not to respond to you? I am sorry. You gave nothing. Nothing.
What do you want? If this is not a lawsuit from me, if it was a lawsuit from me, I could
Can
say,
I say something? If you would give a response, whether you want to put it in writing or not, it would give homeowners who possibly in the future would run for board a peace of mind knowing that any actions they do are not going to be attacked and gone for legally. You are volunteers, just like we are volunteers, and nobody should be being
So-
sued for false accusations.
so if Mark says that he's not going to entertain, okay, if she says that she's not going to entertain, and that's basically what we've all discussed,
Then why can't-
us putting that in writing as a piece of paper that it is,
Mhm.
it's no different than when it becomes, or if it ever becomes, a court document.
We're asking for it as a courtesy for peace of mind.
Homeowners just want to know that.
Up until
there's some money
this
in
point, and as I got 2 cameras on me, up until this point, this is your peace of mind.
You
Okay.
can't put something in writing.
No, I will not put anything in writing.
Well, who legally did you get advice from if we don't have an attorney yet?
No, I did not get advice from an attorney that would represent us.
So who looked at this document? You said it was looked at already.
No, I did not, no, nobody has looked at this other than Susan Langlots, and
But you said
they
you were
had
advised
not,
not to respond to
we had
Deb.
not signed a contract with anybody.
But if
So
you-
did Susan charge you to look at this?
No. When we did a turnover to her with the cases that we have in debt, she called and she says, I've spoken with Les,
The cases you have in debt, what do you mean?
with all of the other
Foreclosure?
occurring charges that we have in debt. All of our
It's kind of split
assessments.
Foreclosures? and
foreclosures, there you go.
You handed over,
When KSN, listen,
you handed over personal information to somebody who you don't even have a signed contract with?
when KSN canceled the contract, they said, here, Les, and they put it on his desk.
Right, I
Okay.
understand that. But can you answer my question?
Les handed them over and said, this is what we have occurring. Okay, Roger, we will look over and we will assess everything to give you all a fair value trade, or a fair value of what is possible to come. Then we move forward from there. So it took, from the time that we've started talking about hourly rates, it took that long to move forward to get this contract sent to us, which was just done, what, 2 days ago? 2 days ago.
I guess what I don't
Seems like
understand
that's
is
an
why,
attorney I don't think I'd want to have if it took that long to get a
what I don't
response.
understand is why was this only Susan Langlots? Why is it only her? Why haven't you guys looked at other attorneys?
I actually have, I spoke with a HOA attorney firm, but here's what we had decided, because we were trying to attempt to get somebody on very quickly because we have so much past due, we agreed at the last board meeting, we made a motion and agreed to bring Susan on temporarily because she was available the quickest. That was just, and it was only stated temporarily by both Mark and I very emphatically, that we would bring her on temporarily. So, but we are looking at other law firms, definitely, and HOA specific law firms.
What costs us associated with something? That's such a shame.
Sure.
So, motion to move
just
forward with
have
this
done.
contract. Anybody deny? Yes.
How far is it, how long is it for?
KSN back, it's $500 a month?
How long's the contract for?
Terrible.
Till we find a replacement.
No, there's no,
Can we
no
give
time
a
in
date
it.
that we will consider?
We've already done that.
Couple
We
months.
did that at the last meeting.
Well, that was March.
The bottom line is, we need to get an attorney on board to start collecting our bad debt. That's the bottom line.
Yep.
Sign it.
On the budget, because we were talking about the budget beforehand,
Yeah.
are we just gonna send it, as that revised budget, that budget?
This one here
The
is
draft.
what,
That's the draft.
this
That's
is
the one
the
we're gonna
draft that
send to
has to go out to the homeowners. And then once it goes out to the homeowners,
Then
we don't have to approve this yet.
No, I know, but
It's
it
just
has,
a
it
draft.
has to get to the homeowner first, they can review it 30 days.
We could have already sent it out after the last meeting, but it was discussed that we'll wait until next meeting.
Well, there's some changes made anyway.
can we make a motion to approve the draft budget that Les goes, or I make a motion to approve the draft budget so that Les can send it out to the homeowners for
We
the
don't,
3-day review?
we don't, it's not, there's not
As a draft.
anything, all it is a draft. It's not,
I understand, but Les still said we had to still make a motion and approve it as a draft budget.
okay.
That's exactly, I made a motion to approve this as a draft budget to send out for 30 days review. Do I have a second? Okay.
Did we pick a date as to how long you're gonna, until you look for another attorney?
Oh, it's gonna be on my end.
I mean, like,
It's gonna be
I
an
would,
ever-evolving.
is what?
It will be an ever-evolving. I mean, we've gotta get, we haven't
I
had
mean,
a
we're
single,
bleeding money from this attorney.
No, that's the
With all these
reason why-
foreclosures and short sales?
that's the reason why we pushed to do this now, and which should have been done a month and a half or 2 months ago. Even with the ones
Why
that
wasn't it
she,
then?
Yeah, why wasn't it?
because it took that long to get cooperation out of anybody.
So why didn't you look for somebody else then? You had
We
2
had,
months.
we had.
But the thing is, the pricing is not that much difference. They're all basically the same.
It is, because if we had KSN on a retainer, $500 a month, and it covered, wait, Susan, it covered everything. $500 a month. At this, for at this for $250 an hour, with all the foreclosures and short sales, do you know how much money you're gonna be bleeding, like thousands a
But
month?
KSL
They
is
can't do
one
anything about
penny.
that penny.
They don't want us
They're-
there. I mean, we
But there
have
has to be another association, or attorneys association
There's only,
out there.
there is
These
only
four
one.
cannot do
okay,
anything about it.
Hang on, there's only
Yes.
one other firm, okay, hang on, everybody. There's only
As far
one,
as getting a
Penny,
retainer?
John, hang on a second.
No.
There's only
Another
one other
attorney.
firm that will actually do
No,
a
it's
monthly
just-
retainer, and they're more than KSN.
All right,
What
I just done
That's it.
Valley Crest, go back to landscaping.
I don't think with landscaping.
I'll let you leave.
Okay. There's gotta be somewhere in the contract for landscaping for some sort of minor receiving something. I know, okay, listen, my front lawn, I know for a fact, I resodded my backyard personally, so it's bad. I know that. And my house is on Maldor. Everybody sees my section right as soon as they turn into the street, or main road, so. But there's gotta be, like landscapers, you know, they did a cheap way of doing it, but they put seeds and shove that, they hang on top. But there's gotta be something here, some minor touch-ups.
That's our standard contract. Even when we compare to the last two that we've had as an association, what you see there compared to the ones that we've had in the past, I can give those to you if you want.
I saw the one from,
I know they include, I know Valley Crest included a tremendous amount more for the price.
well, I know,
You know, that was, it
I
was.
mean, they're my neighbors at work. I know what they do.
Sounds pretty, like a pretty standard contract, to me. I mean, anything extra.
It's standard, it just,
I talked to
Usually,
them.
extra cost.
But they're doing soil samples and a lot of other stuff too, which is,
This
They're
was
working from the
LCM.
ground up location.
I mean, if you just want to compare from what they give us.
I told, I might as well just ash it turf my yard.
They sent us 3
Might
references.
as well just ash it turf it.
There you go. That'll look nice.
They sent us 3 references. She reached out to the references. I didn't know who they were until after I'd sat down with the 2 sales reps. So I went to the 2 admirals that contracted them. They handle all of the naval facility housing, which is over 2,000 acres worth of property. They are a very large entity per se because by the amount of business that they have. They deal with $1 million contracts every day, and all they do is turf and go for them. So mow and go is what they do for the housings. In the 2 years that I've witnessed from just going through the homes, they've done a substantial job. They contract all of their fertilizing, all of their seeding out to an actual chemical company that is licensed, insured, protected, all of that, because of the chemical licensing and certificate that is required by state law. It's easier on the insurance side than it is to say a conglomerate has control over it. As far as the complaints, I haven't gotten any. She spoke to
No.
one of the representatives, she gave high praise. I'll be more than happy to send out, or she can send out the notes for what she did as far as what we will be paying for our club. For them, what was the words that they used? For them, it's a mow contract. For us, it's more of a landscape contract. They're more of, as we have voiced our concern, it's more about the appeal than it is about the mow. They're not gonna come in here in August and do 4 mows when the grass doesn't need to be mowed in August.
Right.
They're trying to develop our curb appeal with plants that are established in the type of environment that we have. The $5 a gallon bushes that you got in your front yard is not an ideal setting for what we have. Anybody can go to Lowe's or Menards or wherever and buy a bundle of that and put it in. And that's what they did. We got the bare minimum. If we want to upscale the community, we have to invest in it a little bit, and that's what we're doing here. The contract value is high, but it's going to be high any way that we look at it, because we're not going to get anything if we go with the mom and pop, or if we go with the company that is just starting out. I would like to give Dreams Granted an opportunity. I watched them guys last night work from, I think it was 6:30 when I got it. They stayed, by 6:30 when I got home, Waverly was done. And then by midnight last night, they were still working. And when I woke up at 4:30 this morning, they were still working.
Yeah, they came back a 3rd time.
So we're getting the bang for the buck as far as snow removal goes. Yes, I understand that there are driveways that are losing asphalt and seal coat and stuff like that. That's the nature of the beast. It's one of those things, you can't win every battle with snow, and when it comes to snow removal, it's just one of those things. Budgeting for seal coating is in all honesty, it's like many things that we are supposed to be responsible for as homeowners outside of our community, outside of our homes. Technically, I should have to pay for my 2-car driveway to have it seal coated, according to our declarations. I don't agree with it. I hate it. My deck is the same way. It's a piece of crap. It's unsafe. It looks trashy. If I wanted it to look that way, I'd go put it up in a tree and hunt out of the damn thing for all I know. It's ridiculous. There's 8 inches of snow sitting on them right now. All they're doing is sitting there. There's no drain for it. There's no proper slope for it to just fall off. It's just sitting there. But I gotta maintain it. I've been here 3 years. I've not once seal coated, and you can walk around and you can look at the other decks, and not a single one of them have been seal coated. There are some patios, the slabs, that are cracked all the way through. It's the nature of the beast. And unless we hold a special meeting, and we discussed this at the last meeting, was to move forward and take control of everything outside of the home. We already take care of it maintenance-wise, so why not change it in our declaration and then uphold the law as far as it goes? And that goes with dog crap. I'm tired of hearing about it. I don't own a dog. I don't want a dog. And I definitely don't want dog shit in my yard. Les, on average, gets 10 calls a week about dog crap. He's got people that don't even pay their assessments that call him crying about dog crap.
You're never gonna think
You're
that
absolutely right.
unless you have somebody following somebody around.
So this,
find out where their dog, what home that they own.
So this is my solution. And this is gonna sound like I'm being an asshole, but quite frankly, I think it's a way to do it. We raise the assessments, whatever it is, for a contract for a company to come up here and clean up dog shit. And there's people that do that, and they make a killing.
Yeah,
No, I think you should probably charge per owner to have a dog.
And that's a thought as well.
Exactly. Whenever
But-
you have dogs, you should pay.
But then you
Well, no,
come,
it's
then you come to,
responsible.
then you come to people that, I don't have a dog. Man, I hear the damn thing barking in your garage right now. What do you mean I don't have a dog? And you're, oh, that's my
Why
neighbor.
should they be penalized then?
Exactly.
You know what, you're not gonna fix it. I saw
just
somebody
saying.
from the houses across the street walking in our community, and I followed him back home, and after yelling at him to pick up his dog poop, and he said, "I'll be back."
Oh, yeah, they.
I don't doubt you did
And there's nothing,
I know.
of course, you know, of course I did.
that. No, I know you, I
I
know.
followed him, and I saw him going to the houses across the street. I'm talking across Malador.
It's not, you're
We're
right,
not gonna
it
do
is
anything about
not.
it.
But if you all can find a way to rectify the problem, by all means, I am open ears, but
You know
I
what
don't think
the
we're
issue
going
is?
to.
The issue is with the yards, I think that's where the people are complaining, not so much out in front, but in the backyards, Frank, because they open up their doors and let them go and bring them right.
You know,
back.
I've got a neighbor, I've never once seen a man walk a dog, and he's got two. And they both of them weigh as big, they're as big as I am. And it looks like a freaking landmine of black crap every 5 to 10 inches.
When I was trying to inspect the decks.
And there's nothing, hey man, can you handle this? Oh, yeah, I'll get it.
You can call the village, that's a health hazard.
Why don't you just send them violation letters and start charging them daily?
You know what?
The violation letters don't, they only go so far.
They will, when people start getting charged every
Money
single
for it?
day.
The
they're
thing that
gonna
we
fix
had,
the
and
addition.
that was a large problem with PSI as far as violations, because we were paying just as much for the violation letter to be sent out. And by the time all the money was recouped, violation, we were in more debt from violation letters than we were getting the money recouped. It's like trash cans. There's a lot of homes here where the trash cans are on the front porch. There's one on Remington. The house has been empty for 6 months.
Now they have boxes on top of the garbage cans too.
So, I mean, I don't have a point of contact. Les is still sending the information to the last owner. So, like, they up and move.
So call the route to pick it up.
Yeah, that's an avenue.
It works.
But it's
It
not
really
mine.
does.
It's not my, I can't technically call and say, hey, I'm
Yes, you can.
Frank Tate, I live at 1310, but guess what?
Yes, you
I'm on
can.
the board, this vacant, this
Exactly.
unit is vacant, please pick up the things, we've done it before.
It's your job, it's your fiduciary duty, is to maintain our
It'll piss
property.
people off and they'll start putting their stuff away. I mean, it takes some effort, but you guys
You know
want
what?
to be on the board.
I have told numerous people, if you see it, come and tell me at my address, call me, email me, and I will personally go over there and ask them to kindly go and please bring it inside. If somebody has dog poop all over their backyard, I'll ask them to kindly pick it up. There's no reason that we can't just go over there and ask them to do it first. There's no reason we can't. I mean, let's treat each other with some kindness. I mean, seriously.
That's all fine and well, but are you guys actually, I mean, how's that communication gonna be done? And is it gonna get done?
I will personally do it, and if not, I'll personally call up Les myself and ask him to send out a violation letter if need be. I mean, I think we need to start taking some actions, but.
What you got?
Landscape contract, possibly.
This is just some notes for your newsletter if possible.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
If that would be
Yeah,
okay,
because I
if you can
said
just take a
draft.
glance at those, and if we can possibly place something, just short and brief in there,
Yeah.
that'd be great.
Yeah, awesome.
Well, the beat boxes,
And yeah, I was
Oh, yeah,
gonna.
let's talk
okay,
about
I
that.
talked to Nick today
Okay.
from Volo,
Oh,
of the Village of Volo.
What box?
The beat boxes, those pipes that stick on the freaking ground, some are broken, some are bent, some are,
They break them out.
it's got the round, it's for the water. You see me in your front, cruise your front lawns,
Oh, but I.
they're gonna walk with me next week, he's gonna call me, actually talked to him today, when he's got time to walk our property, because it looks like, because we pay SSA tax here, we technically don't own the pipes, we rent them for 17 and God so long years. So they are technically theirs, pipes. So he's looking at replacing or fixing the pipes.
Good.
The only issue is some of the grading wasn't up to par for when the pipes were laid in.
That goes back to the building.
But the one he thinks he can do maybe is shorten the pipe down as in the stack part.
Yeah.
So it's maybe a little lower and put a new, round, thing on top of it. So when Nick and I get together next week, we can walk the property and hopefully some of the snow melts and we can see them all.
Exactly.
So I know mine, like, for example, mine's broken, I know that for 4 years now, so.
It's been broke for that long?
Yeah, since I moved in, it's been broken. So,
And that was the one that we discussed 2 weeks ago?
yeah, it's been broken, I mean, I just don't care, I mean,
Okay.
I'm
Well,
used to knocking in that thing. But-
I spoke with Dreams Granite about it, and because I was under the impression that Dreams Granite did when you told me, I was under the impression that they did it when they were doing the turf redo.
Yeah, well, between the snow plows, between the bobcats, between everything, there's not gonna to it. The snow, you gotta think, weighs about 200 pounds per, you know, I mean, it doesn't take that much weight, 200 pounds of snow. And they're just taking care of those beat boxes like crazy.
Well, plus people trip
But what you
over,
have to say tax
and then
and
with the
pay,
cars,
because it's a separate
run over.
tax for everything that was put into our subdivision.
Right.
So we can have power, water or gas. We're renting, we don't own it.
Well, that's good to hear.
So there will be no charge for that?
As of right now, there's no charge because it's rented.
Wonderful.
Wow,
That's
The
perfect.
fix.
that's great.
Wait
Thank
until we
you.
get
Thanks
like
so
Michigan
much.
water.
I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna walk with them next week.
Thank you
and
so
figure
much,
that out.
Mark, for
Thank
doing
you.
that. That's appreciated.
All right, so what do y'all want to do with this?
I think we should move
think
forward,
we
and the
should move
reason,
forward.
the reason I think we should is I think that we know that we need a quality company in here for a couple of years that is really going to pay attention to our landscaping, because all of us know we have serious problems with bugs and everything else. I would say this is worth the investment from our homeowners to be able to have a company such as this come in and do this work for us.
Well, we've tried, was it 3, let's see, this is our third one?
Yeah.
Well, in 4 years, I'm just counting since 4 years. Our third landscaper,
Yeah.
we started at, low, mid, we kind of jumped up, and this would be, I guess, more premium grade, I guess, but I want to see, honestly, I'd rather pay my assessments the same. Right now, I think in this room, I pay the highest assessment, I don't know, I own the Bentley, it's the highest assessment.
Yeah.
I'd rather keep my assessment at what it is now, just so you can, and pay the premium on landscaping and see what they can do.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I want my property, I know it's worth probably nothing now, but I still want, it's got, I want it to look nice. I'd rather pay the premium right now on certain things, to see if they can somewhat fix it, see the soil samples, and then we can go from there, at least, 1 year, and see how it looks next year.
Well, speaking of assessments, are we gonna ever get like a little booklet with our little coupons?
As soon as we get that.
Once you get your budget,
Yep.
and once it comes back after it's approved,
So we
the
just continue
coupon
to
books are gonna go up.
mail checks to that
But
address.
we actually have a very good majority right now that are paying electronic.
That's how we do it.
So once,
Will they cut the fee for that?
you know what, that was discussed during our contract
Yeah.
negotiation with them. A lot of
Because I
the,
prefer to pay it electronically too, but I hate paying the fee.
But there's no fee if you're
paying.
No, it's on the computer's no fee.
Bank.
'Cause I don't
no,
pay
no,
fee.
she's saying,
I don't have my bank send it. I go onto their website. and do
Okay.
it, and
Yeah.
There's like a $10 or $11 fee.
Yeah, I thought it was like $8.50 or $8 or $9 or something.
Okay, I misunderstood.
To get the book. Oh, that's what it was gonna charge us, that's what the cost was gonna be.
Okay, I didn't know, I bill paid, so I don't know.
if you do, if I'm not mistaken, the electronic bill pay is free.
Yeah.
I did not realize you were doing it online. Okay.
Yeah,
I go to their
charge.
website, because if I go to my bank's website and do bill pay, sometimes they send
It's
it
no
late.
longer.
Because they have to mail it to them, since they're not.
It's a check, not an electronic.
Yeah.
If you, in your welcome package, do you receive a welcome package?
I just got mine last week, so. And I'm not joking, I just got mine.
It would have been in a big white envelope.
Yeah, or even like an automatic payment.
If you do the automatic payment where you send in a voided check, it'll come out on the 10th, I believe that it is. There's no charge, but it's an electronic debit.
Yeah.
That is what the majority of the community is doing now. That was one of the conversations that him and I had 2 weeks ago, I think. Because we're getting checks, we're getting electronic debits, but we're not getting any information sheets on who are the homeowners. We have so many that live off the location, we still don't have a way to reach out to them. So when I send a letter, or we send a newsletter, or whatever the case may be, it doesn't reach the proper authority. So they get 12 or 15 of these packages back. And then it's, well, you know, who do we contact? So
So what are you doing about that?
it's reach out. I mean.
I know
like,
that's been saying tons,
Yeah, there's a lot of literature that's getting sent out.
it
It's
it comes back.
Well, that's what I mean.
He keeps on pursuing the next step. So he is trying to find out.
Because, I mean, if you rent it, I mean, I'm telling you, it's freaking, we don't,
Yeah.
half the town down.
Yeah, I think that's
I mean,
a
the
good job.
Well, we
Well, the rent-
had delegated Scott one time to contact the owners of each unit and have them signing the lease, lease agreement, and that they have to submit whoever's renting, that type of thing. Car plate, that type of
Yeah,
thing.
and it,
This is why we need to have an attorney on board. This is why we need to move forward with all of this stuff so we can start addressing those things as we go along.
I think you should wait to do all that until you have a different attorney at $250 an hour.
it's something.
Write your notes on that.
This is gonna end up costing us $10,000 a month just for attorneys.
Rick, you know, I'm gonna say the guy Rick that is my second point of contact with him, I think he works in your area, yeah. I'll find out where he lives and maybe you can chat.
I mean, not that so much, it's more, it would take care of everybody's matters,
Right.
because if in our contract for this price, we get some minor receiving
Well,
and minor stuff for cosmetic look, for temporary basis.
we discussed, when I spoke with him on Friday, we discussed like the thatching, aerating, all that. And when they come out after contract is signed and they take the soil samples throughout the community, that's when they were gonna start giving their follow-on proposals. What he's been attempting to email me is a template of yours and John's unit, using that as a mock-up template.
Of what does it look like?
They want
To look at.
the community to
So
look
it's
like.
31,000 plus all the add-ons, like a fertilizer or an aeration?
That's what Mark is saying, that he would like to see in the contract.
I wanna see that in the
as far as-
contract,
Right.
instead of having add-ons, it's just in there, it gets done, and that's it.
No, we had the fertilizing and the weed spray and all that in here,
That's what I
but we're talking about like the added maintenance, you know, like overseeing.
Oh,
So let's say the plow takes off half my yard,
Because I was gonna say, I thought they had aeration and stuff
They're
like
gonna fix
that.
my yard.
No, it's not,
Not your
it's.
V-Box.
Oh, they smack all the
Here,
time.
I'll let you.
Yeah,
When
it's
some
Spring
guys are-
maintenance services, and you'll get
They
an idea.
kept it the same, didn't they?
So that's the only thing I want to see on that contract.
Okay.
And if I gotta talk, actually Valley Crest is right down, is right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, I
It's the next
think Rick
building
is
over
in
from
your,
mine.
I think he is
So,
in your area.
he's actually the next building over from my building, so I can walk over
Jamie,
there. I just want to see if they can add
their,
it in there.
their leading sales rep, he actually works in North Chicago. His office is on the naval base, so I know where his office is, but I don't know where Rick's one.
Yeah, I mean, Rick's like I said, your Valley Crest is literally the next building over from mine.
They're still adamant about taking us out if we want to go out, and him and I both agreed.
I'll park
There's
for it.
2 foot of snow outside, man, are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So, if we want to go out at a later date, they'll do that. But hopefully, once I receive the mock-ups and we forward them out to everyone, they'll have an idea.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so that's the last thing.
I think we should approve this. Just to let you know, this includes all the fertilizing, aeration, this includes
I know, but
pruning
this-
all the trees,
But
all the
what
bushes,
Mark
and
is
stuff.
saying is Mark
Yeah.
wants to see like
Some
some overseeing
yeah,
and
I agree.
things like that.
Before,
Yeah,
I just want to see
okay.
if we can just put that in there, that way it's not
Okay.
gonna cost us extra, and it takes care of your problem,
Yep.
and it takes care of some minor problems throughout the whole community, if I can put it in the contract.
I don't think they're gonna do that because it's not just minor problems, there's major problems throughout the community.
Yeah, but
So
the
I don't think
major
we're gonna
problem
put
is they
something
would.
like that in there because it's such a broad issue.
I mean, it's a huge,
They're not,
We'll put that in there.
I doubt they'll put that in there, I really do.
The price will go up. That's all.
Not specify square footage.
There you go.
100 square feet.
There you go.
something.
Yeah.
right. Well, they have taped off the community, they know how many acres that we have, they know what we're responsible for and what we're not responsible for.
Well, if you just want to get me in contact with them, and I'll just ask for
The
them.
front empty lot, they had told me that they will give us an assessment or a quote for what we will be paying for to maintain that, so that way we can incur the charges and then bill the owner.
You mean what the garden?
The lot across, yeah, the garden, garden of Eden, yes.
All right.
Garden of Eden is being addressed.
But he's saying that
No,
It's just like Outlot R.
Yeah.
We were taking care of Outlot R, it wasn't ours. So once we develop the incurred charges of taking care of that lot, we'll do the same thing we did on Outlot R, a tenant. If not, we'll, you remember how we did the turnover with Outlot R?
So you're gonna attempt to take over that lot?
If the builder refuses to pay us for what we've been paying to maintain it, then it's go to court and either sign over a quick claim or
Put a lien on it.
put a lien on it.
My thing is, no matter what we do, there's no way I can let that grass grow, you know, or it grows.
No, they're planning on building there, it's their property.
I know,
Yeah.
but
But there's no
That's,
date in sight.
the
though.
odds of that building,
Yeah,
that building going up anytime
Right.
soon.
Outlaw R was so.
Hey, you know, we
different, though. They
can,
weren't
we can
building.
always attempt to do so.
All right.
It's something with them.
Yeah.
Also,
And-
we're not
and
gonna
that's
finalize
fine.
this.
No, do you all want a motion?
I
to move
think we
forward?
should make a
Move
motion,
forward, Definitely.
definitely, you know, and if we can, especially if we can get some decedent, let's see if they'll throw it in there.
And square footage wise,
Yes,
and that way.
do it, do square foot wise, but I'd make a motion, definitely, let's do it.
All right.
Let's go with Valley
Motion.
Crest.
Motion to
Second.
move
Third,
forward.
fourth, whatever.
Yep.
There's one thing to move forward with the company, not that
Yes.
specific
Right.
contract.
If you can hook me up with Valley Crescent,
Gotcha.
we talked to them about it.
Can I bring this up real quick on there were a whole bunch of business cards taped to a whole bunch of, like, every single box, post office box that we had. This is, these are federal, that's federal property. We can't be advertising on those boxes. We have our board, luckily they're allowing us to put our board postings on there. But there were 8 of these per,
I didn't even notice it.
yeah, they were on every box almost. I mean, I went over and I picked up a stack, so if you know who this is, they can have their business cards back. But we have to be really careful with that, because if everybody starts doing that, that's gonna become, we're gonna have a graffiti neighborhood. So,
All right.
we can just address that we
Motion
can't do
to adjourn the
that.
meeting.
I don't know, do you guys even know who this is?
There's no open,
Want to pass that down, see if Mark knows?
5
Open
minutes.
forum.
Open forum, by all means, let's go.
I wanted to say one thing about one of Scott's recent emails, you know, addressing that I would not surrender passwords to the board unless I'm asked nicely in some special manner. And I sent it to all the board members. I did not ask that I wanted to be asked in a special manner.
Mailing.
I requested that I was treated like a civil
You seen that?
human being. I wanted to be, if anyone demands something from me, they can kiss my ass. Sorry, but they can't. You know, I'm not gonna give anything to anyone that's gonna demand something from me. That's all I was asking. So, you know, Scott doesn't like the fact that I want him, if he wants something from me, I want him to ask me civilly. Oh, well, you know, he's not gonna get it.
This is about the website?
This was for the contact information about for the website, yes.
Yeah, I think we
Yeah,
I was gonna say, you
with
can provide
another
it.
email.
Hang on, we're still, just hang on one second. Okay. I think we addressed, you know, you addressed that very nicely, send it back the right way. I think you sent all of us the contact links for the website, and that was much appreciated. So,
Maybe he could have asked
Honestly,
me, he could have asked me for it too.
Quite.
Yeah.
I'd have given it to him, I gave it to you, I'd have given it to him, I'd go to the board.
You can watch a video.
Um,
of it.
Oh, you know what, same thing with the accounts.
Oh, I saw.
He
Actually,
stated in there that we have denied giving him
Saved
account
it.
information, that we're signed up for.
That's what I mean.
I have not been asked once, not been asked once.
on what now?
As soon as I was asked,
For
The
the
bank
website?
account, he stated in there that we haven't turned over or signed over the bank account that I'm a signatory on and the Herald's signatory on.
Yeah, how are we?
We haven't been
address that?
approached by that at all.
Okay, can we address that real quick?
I don't even know where to begin with that.
Can we somehow
To begin with
meet
what?
with you and Harold and get that signed over? Because we do need to get that CD signed over into the boards, 2 of the board members' names.
I don't think Carol's gonna talk to you.
I don't know.
Just got music,
Actually, it does come with a lovely little,
You didn't see that?
animation, if you'd like.
Really?
Actually, you know what?
They did a good job.
You know what I will say? I don't find that funny.
I don't find it funny either, but they,
So no, Frank,
I
you know what?
have-
I don't appreciate you asking, does it come to music and stuff? Because I really don't appreciate that.
I haven't seen
And
that.
I
don't-
shooting gallery of ducks with,
I'll forward you the email.
obviously, you know, we're here, the old board and stuff, you know? I don't appreciate that. I mean, it's, in this day and age, we have people shooting up schools and movie theaters, and you have somebody who says so many targets and has a shooting gallery, obviously with us intended,
You know,
I take offense.
the only name that I see here is John's.
No, actually, you didn't get to see all the attachments, it was all
It is so obvious
about
that
me.
they are intending for Penny,
All the attachments on
myself.
there were about me, Frank.
All right, well,
They attached
This
all
is
of
like-
my.
this,
So
exactly,
it's
take this up a higher.
It is, it's
It's being dealt
We
with.
can, he doesn't come.
Well, you know, guys,
But you know where he lives, and you know,
I'm pretty sure
Exactly.
that.
these are the kind of things that are prohibiting us from
have
moving
time
forward.
Yes.
to deal with this. I really, and
We didn't have time either, that's why we walked away, but yet we're still freaking engulfed in all the BS.
can't believe it.
I mean, seriously, I can't even believe we
But
live here.
you see this here, this stuff right here?
Yeah,
This
he
is
makes
why
our
it's
community look really
taking
bad.
so long for us to do
Get
anything.
him off
because
the
all
board.
Nancy,
No.
Nancy.
Frank, you're the
Nancy.
president. You're the only
Do
one
you
he
still-
talks to. You're buds. Come
He just-
on, go and get him.
The guy don't answer my
calmed
calls.
down.
Okay, guys, everybody has to realize one thing. There's only one way to get a board member off this board, and everyone in here knows that, because it's been attempted before. You have to have 2/3 vote of all the homeowners, you have to have 2/3 vote of all the board members, okay? It's-
Or he does
or he has to
something
resign.
illegal.
That's the only way.
Or he
I tell you
does
what.
something illegal.
I tell you what,
It hasn't happened before.
my life, there's nothing threatening in there with no names.
I-
And that's the first
it has
thing,
my
that's the
name
first
attached
thing
to
that
it.
a judge is gonna tell.
Let me
I know,
tell
but hold
you,
on, I mean-
if your wife, home alone, in Kentucky, 9 months pregnant, got this,
Mhm.
then you'd be okay.
You know what my wife's gonna do? She's gonna go to my bedroom, she's gonna pull a gun out,
Hey,
she's
I
gonna
got
sit there
one
and wait
too,
for some
honey.
man.
I got one too, but you would be okay with this. You would be okay.
It's,
You would be okay. You would be.
this is the first time I've seen this, okay? So when I asked, it doesn't have music with it because I see the music player. I don't mean nothing comical about it. But what I'm getting at is if you insinuate or if you take it like it's a personal attack, then that's the way you take it.
It's the way
Moving
our
on.
person-
His name is the only name that I see.
Moving on.
So, and it's probably, and I would
That one
go,
person's been named. I mean,
and,
that's okay if just one person's been named.
no, I'm not saying
They
it's
had- They
okay.
had my name attached to it in so many ways, it was pathetic.
I
I'm
don't,
not
But what
saying
I'm
that,
getting
saying
at-
that
There were
if
numerous
one
names
name-
attached
That's
to it,
not-
real quick,
but
okay?
still, doesn't matter.
He's just a homeowner. He's not-
I am completely, this really honestly, you know, and my name was not in it, I know, whatever, okay? I know for a fact, if I got that form or the power, whatever it is, power, you know, I hate computers, so whatever it was, sent, okay? I have 3 allegiance, that's it, my kids, all 3 kids. I got a 4th as my club. I handle my own business the way I need to, but if I got that, there'll be another issue in the subdivision. That is, I'm sorry, as a board member, as a community owner, that's BS, period. And that BS that boy is not here right now. Period. It's a cop-out. And I'm done, I'm serious. There's certain times that I can be nice and cool, relaxed and calm, but you get me to that point, and we're gonna have some serious issues.
He's a coward. He hides behind phony lawsuits.
He's
that
got-
are bogus
he's got a
and
face
calling
off.
out innocent people.
I'm sorry.
You got a social media, page?
I want Facebook.
I don't.
Facebook, okay, Facebook, Twitter, okay, so you see all the common posts that are on there, right? You know, like if, I don't know, I've seen thousands and thousands, but, all right, let's talk about Obama. You know, that's exactly what you have here in front of you, okay? This is,
Okay, you're not taking it as
No,
seriously
no,
as
but
we
that's-
are.
that's-
So let's just adjourn.
I don't have Secret Service watching out for me.
We're not talking
I'm not
about
saying
some
that.
United States citizen sending some crap out. We're talking
And
about
John
a board
doesn't have
member
Secret Service
sending
for him.
crap out.
And
A board
Nancy
member.
doesn't either. Exactly.
We're not,
I'm
he's
only
not just some
responsible
other
for
homeowner,
myself,
he's a
I'm
board
only
member.
responsible for myself's actions, okay?
You are, but you can still be outraged, and you can say that he's a coward.
And you're the president
And
of the
that
board,
he
stand
should-
out and have a voice, stand together and get him the frick off.
You can't get him off, but you could at
It's
least,
not up to us, and he's not
Then
here.
rally the homeowners, because there's nobody in this community that wants him on that board.
Okay, can
I think the rest of you could probably be cohesive, but this, and the things that they keep doing, I can't walk past his house without one of them saying some nasty thing out their windows at me. I'm not kidding you.
When you just ignore him. Like,
Why don't you walk by him and ignore him?
It's-
I
it's
shouldn't
enough.
have to live
This-
like
this-
that.
this is-
You're not worried this is gonna
Well,
come
then
to
you
you
have to
to
say
fix it,
that
and
with
you
the
don't,
police.
you don't agree with them 100%?
Oh, I saw this, I just deleted it.
But you're not worried that you are the next in line?
I am already next in line. I've been a victim of his abuse on the phone.
Oh, okay.
the other thing I wanted to
And
say
I don't,
is,
but I'm not burdening the board with that, because that's between him and I. It has
So are we
nothing to
burdening
do-
you with our concerns?
No.
As homeowners?
But what I'm saying is, all the time you're gonna waste trying to get him off the board, we're not gonna be able to proceed with our
Exactly.
collections, we're not gonna be able to
I
proceed with
agree.
landscaping.
I agree.
The whole community is gonna go to shit, because we're all worried about getting rid of Scott. Can't we wait till the next election and just let the problem take care of itself? Maybe we've given him enough rope and he's gonna hang himself. Maybe he
might
might
have.
be a
All
copy
right,
board.
no, no.
the other thing I wanted to mention is about the
But y'all take it
email
too
address.
personal.
Because
It is
he has in a previous,
Well,
in
then
an
sue
email,
Susan.
stated
Take
that
care of
he
it
has,
personally and
in an
don't
official
involve the
board
whole
email,
community.
He is
regardless
representing
of
the
what
board
is sent out
and
of it, he
suing
has
us
stated
as
in an
the
email
board.
that as a
What
an
did
official.
you find out about the website?
We cannot, we cannot send emails to the entire community from that website. And we may be able to add a feature later on, if I can ever get a hold of the guy.
Okay.
You know, I haven't been able to get a response from him since before the last meeting.
So you're gonna email one person and, or
Yeah.
it can't be, okay.
John has even tried to test email to me and it went to somebody
Yeah,
totally different.
you can click on contacts, click on board of directors, email one of the people that have registered on the website, and it goes to someone else.
Yeah.
I sent one to Margaret, one to some woman named Amanda.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous.
with a totally different email address and everything, so.
That's
an option. That,
I mean, for lack of response to
All right.
emails,
One more
or,
comment.
By all means.
I'd like to address everyone in this room. You know, this really is a thankless job what we do up here, and you all know that. I just wish that for once, instead of everyone coming here and complaining about Scott this and Scott that, why don't you give us some credit for what we've achieved to date? With the terrible, no, I'm speaking, with the terrible turnover we had, with Advantage taking us on, with the battle trying to get an attorney, the four of us have done a lot of damn work, and we don't get any credit for it. We sit up here and all we hear about is Scott. Why don't you tell us what a good job we're doing
Because we
for
haven't seen it
you?
yet. But we don't get responses
get
to our
that
emails. We don't even get a response to an email.
But you're not on the board anymore,
I'll
so,
always answer.
you know what?
All right,
You're
meeting
a
adjourned.
homeowner.
Okay,
Meeting
come
adjourned.
on, don't.
Meeting
And we're
adjourned.
doing
Thank you.
the best, we're doing the
get
best
that
that we
either.
can. We're doing
we didn't
the
get
best
pats
that
on the
we can.
back. I
What have you
understand.
done?
I
No,
understand.
no
We
budget,
didn't- none of us
no
got pats on the
lawyer,
back.
no newsletter, no, what have you done?
I tried to be nice and it didn't work, so,
Okay.
here.
No, I'm not saying you're not being nice, that's not what I'm saying.
Well, why
I'm
can't
saying,
you just
understand,
acknowledge something
Susan,
good
we
that we're
understand
doing?
also. We
I don't want
understand.
a pat on the back, but just don't be coming and complaining about everything all the time.
What do we get? We got the same thing. The whole year we got the same thing. And you can't say we did it because we have videos to prove it.
I know that,
We
but
were attacked left and right also for what we did.
And continue to
And
be
it
every
continues to
single
be.
let me
fucking
take
day.
over the Scott community, because all we're concentrating on is him.